Hello, everybody. Welcome to Just Upright. My name is Doc Jane Ruder. I'm a doctor of physical therapy, and I'm your foreign educated physical therapist guide to U.S. application. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. So we're going to discuss today about the tourist visa. So I receive a lot of questions from foreign educated physical therapists, many questions about tourist visa. Okay, and I'm gonna give you my advice about if you're planning to come here to the US with the tourist visa. When should you do it? When should you not do it? And what you should expect and should not expect. Okay, because many people have misinformation, have wrong information, or receiving bad advice from other people or their family or relatives that they have to come here to the US with a tourist visa and it's going to be easy. So let's see what is really the case and if you should listen to that kind of advice and when should you come here if you have a tourist visa so that you can increase the likelihood of you being petitioned to transition to a working visa or an immigrant visa. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today, coming right up. Okay, first things first. Tourist visa is also known as a B1, B2 visa. Okay, so as the name implies, it is tourist. Okay, so you are coming here to the US as a tourist. So what it means is legally you cannot work when you are under the tourist visa. Okay, so many people are asking me if they can come to the US with a tourist visa. Okay, so bad advice from other people who are not a physical therapist, who are not a foreign educated physical therapist, your relatives or family members who have no idea how it is to process as a foreign educated physical therapist. The usual bad advice that they give is come here to the US with the tourist visa and it will be easy for you to find a job. Wrong. Okay, so why it is a bad advice? Okay, because the process takes a certain period of time. Okay, so under tourist visa, legally you can be here in the US for 6 months maximum. Okay, unless there are certain conditions that you can apply for extension, but the result or the approval or disapproval of that is depending on your situation. Okay, so within 6 months, okay, if your situation is first situation, you have not started anything yet. Okay, what do I mean by that? You have not applied for credentialing yet. Okay, so you have not applied for credentialing, you have not applied for FCCPT, okay, or other credentialing companies such as ICD, IERF, ICA. Okay, so you have not done the initial process yet. It is a bad idea to come here. Okay, because the credentialing process itself will take 3 months, 12 weeks. Okay, 12 weeks, and some of them are reporting delayed in their processing. Okay, beyond 3 months. Okay, so that is the first part, is the credentialing process. Then you have to apply to the state where you want to practice as a physical therapist. So applying to the state can be a month or more depending on how the processing of that state is coming along, if they are delayed, if they have a backlog in processing, or like Florida, they have a certain you have to submit all your requirements to this date prior to the meeting of the board. If you don't submit it to this date, so you have to wait for another quarterly meeting of the board. So there are so many complexities. Okay, so 6 months of being here is not enough for you to start and end your application, from processing the credentialing process, applying to the state, taking the board exam, passing the board exam. Okay, and not to mention, after credentialing, guys, you might end up with deficient subjects, okay, or deficiencies. And those deficient subjects you have to complete before you actually pass the initial stage, which is the credentialing, okay, before you pass the FCCPT, okay? So that is the reason why it is such a bad idea to come to the US as a foreign educated physical therapist without starting anything yet. Now, there's another scenario, another situation in which, for example, an applicant will email me and will tell me that I am already licensed. I have a New York license. I'm ready to be petitioned by any employer, okay, in New York. Number one question for that is, do you have healthcare worker certificate that is valid and active? Okay, so if you watch my other videos about healthcare worker certificate, you can get that through FCCPT Type 1 review for immigration. Okay, so not the Type 1 review for licensure. It should be Type 1 review for immigration. Okay, a lot of New York applicants are getting their visa screen certification from a CGFNS. Okay, so it's called Visa Screen Certificate. Okay, VSC. Okay, so why it is important? Because even if, and I made a video of this, you have a New York license, now what? Or shocking, New York license is not enough, something like that. I made a video about it because a lot of people have this common misinformation that if you're licensed, you're ready to be petitioned. That is totally wrong. You should have the visa screen certificate. Without the visa screen certificate or Type 1 review for immigration certificate from FCCPT, no employer can legally petition you with a working or immigrant visa, okay? And most of the problems of foreign educated physical therapists applying in New York is that, yes, they pass the FCCPT in New York. Yes, they pass the NPTE. But when they apply for visa screen certificate, or especially for Type 1 review for immigration under FCCPT, there are so many deficient subjects that they see that you have to complete those deficient subjects first, even though you are already licensed in New York, so that you can be granted with the healthcare worker certificate from FCCPT or visa screen certificate from CGFNS. Okay, so that is common information that a lot of foreign educated physical therapists do not know, and I made a lot of videos about it, that your license is not enough to come here. You have to have that healthcare worker certificate, okay? The only ones who do not need the healthcare worker certificate are those who are already immigrant when they apply, or they are U.S. citizen, okay? So we're not talking about anything about this video if you are a U.S. citizen, because if you're a U.S. citizen or U.S. immigrant, you can be legally here in the U.S. anytime, okay? As long as, of course, you have plane ticket from your country to come here. Legally, you can be here anytime that you want to, because you are of legal status. You are an immigrant or U.S. citizen. But for those who are not a U.S. citizen, U.S. immigrant, you have to have the healthcare worker certificate active and valid, not expired, before you can come here to before any employer can actually petition you with a working or immigrant visa. Okay? Okay, so as a recap, those who already passed their NPTE, already licensed and has a valid and active healthcare worker certificate, those are the people who can ideally come here under tourist visa. But before you come, you're already in communication with the employer and with their lawyer as to the strategy on how they can help you transition from a tourist visa to an immigrant visa or to a working visa. Okay, so it is very important before you come here, you have a plan, and ideally you are already in communication with the employer who wants to petition you, so that you have a plan. Okay, the worst thing that you can do is to listen to the advice of those who have no idea how the process is, how long the process is, what it takes for you to be approved and be licensed and be approved with a working or immigrant visa before you can work. Okay, it's a long tedious process, and the employer will not, I will repeat, the employer will not prioritize you if you have not started anything yet, even if you are here in the US. Okay, so the employer will prioritize you. The employer may help you transition from a tourist visa to immigrant or working visa. Again, if you already are licensed to the state you want to apply or work, and you have an active and valid healthcare worker certificate. So those two conditions must be met. And if you have a tourist visa, it will be easier for you to transition, okay, to a working visa or immigrant visa if you already have those major requirements. Okay, if not, do not take a chance, because most likely you will end up going back to your country heartbroken, because what you anticipated of it is easy to find job here. There are so many jobs here, guys. There are so many jobs here. Yes, you can easily find a job, but the question is, are you qualified? Because if you don't have any employer, if you don't have the healthcare worker certificate, if you don't have a working visa or immigrant visa, then you will not be able to work here as a physical therapist. Okay, so if you have any experience, using your tourist visa, let us know so we can share that with other foreign educated physical therapists and we can help them out in the process. Put your comment down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can share this video to anyone you know who are confused with the processing, and also like the video, and you can also share this on your social media platform across the board on the internet, so that we can help as many foreign educated physical therapists around the world. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. Until the next video, stay blessed.